Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have a video discussing my top 5 Star Trek characters from the post-Nemesis line of books. In this video, I will discuss the top 5 characters, why I chose them, why they mean so much, and then also I will talk about which books they had such an impact on me on, and why, and which books I really think capture what really makes them strong characters. And so the first one, my number 5 that I'll talk about, is the character of Ezri Dax. Ezri Dax was introduced in the final season of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And in the books, she decided to stop being a counselor and decided to go to the command track to try to become the captain of a ship, which eventually she does. I won't tell you exactly when she does, but she has an incredible journey. She has many ups and downs where she's the captain and she falls from grace and gets back to being captain and falls from grace. She has such an incredibly rich story, and she has, because she's a Dax character, she has all these previous hosts that her symbiont has had, and so I really enjoy her character, and I'll talk about some of the ones that she made an impact in. One that she made an impact in certainly was the Destiny trilogy. This is when she kicked into high gear because she became a main character, a truly main character, not just of the DS9 line, but of all of Star Trek. And she steps up in this trilogy and is really interesting, and she has a lot of difficulties. She also has a huge impact in the Fall series, which I really enjoyed, and she, particularly in books 3 and books 4, really has an opportunity to shine. And then also, surprisingly, she has a great moment in one of the standalones. She has a great sequence of events in the Takedown novel, which really kind of brings her journey full circle in all the things she's dealing with. And so I think that Ezri Dax is a really strong and really entertaining character who just goes through so much. Talking about my number 4 is probably the one that nobody would expect to be on here, but is still nonetheless one of my most entertaining characters, and that is Korg from the Prey trilogy. He is not even present in any of the Star Trek movies or TV shows. He is originally a novel creation made by John Jackson Miller for the Prey trilogy, which, if you hadn't already known, is my favorite Star Trek trilogy of all time. It's my favorite Star Trek books. It's amazing. I love them so much. Every time I reread them, I'm just amazed at how much I enjoy the story. And Korg is the main villain in this trilogy, and he has such a long history of wanting revenge and just feeling like it was stolen, his birthright was stolen from him. And the way that he waits for centuries to make his comeback, and the way that he just comes roaring back in and ready to start a civil war in the Klingon Empire. It's just so entertaining. And he has a lot of depth to him that you wouldn't expect from your standard villain, but he has quite a lot of depth that I really liked in this trilogy. He is mentioned in a few other places, really, but this is the trilogy of Korg, the great character. My number 3 on my list is probably a much more generic expected name, and that is Seven of Nine, who is most prominently in the Star Trek relaunch novels from Voyager. I will also mention the novel Before Dishonor as an honorable mention for her character, which I thought that Peter David nailed her character in this novel. But when she was in the first portion, the first 4 books of the relaunch books by Kirsten Beyer, she really took Seven on a journey from wanting to be separated from everything to being willing to come back to the ship, realizing the necessity of her being on Voyager, and then also her finally allowing herself to have romantic feelings towards one of the crew members. And she has this incredible journey in the TV show that I already really liked. And when she gets into the books, they just continue it on. She has this internal struggle of she was Borg, but now she's redeemed, and now she's a human, but maybe there's a sense that she should go back to the Borg, but she realizes it's wrong, and it's a great discussion. And this series, which takes place after Destiny, was handled really well for her character. My number 2 on my list is Worf, the wonderful Klingon person. I loved Worf in the TV show, and I loved that he was able to go not just in Next Generation, but also be in DS9. I really have developed a real love of the Klingon characters because it's just such an interesting race of characters for me. And he actually has several moments where he gets time to shine. The first one I'll discuss is the A Time 2 series. He is absent for most of the A Time 2 novels, but he is actually present for the last 3, and he gets some excellent time in these books to shine, and I really enjoyed his character here. Those last 3 books really give him lots of attention and grow his character. His character also has plenty of time to grow in the Prey trilogy, where he is, if Korg is the villain of the trilogy, even though there's lots of protagonists here, Worf really is the hero, the central hero of this trilogy, and he's so great in this trilogy. So I highly recommend that. There's a good connection between the A Time 2 and here. There's some great themes that carry over, and then finally, I mean, Worf is gone. He's lost a lot of people in his life. He's been separated from his son for so long. His characters that he's loved have died, and it all comes truly full circle in Oblivion's Gate. This is not a novel. This is the part of the Coda trilogy that ends all the post-Nemesis line, and this is not a novel that I particularly loved the most. Of all the books I've talked about here, it's probably the one I've liked the least, but there's a great Worf subplot here where he's finally able to be happy, and he's finally able to have that closure as a character that we needed. And so he comes full circle from where he started. And then the final character I'll discuss is Julian Bashir. Now, literally every single novel that Julian Bashir is in is excellent. He's always amazing as a character. I always love reading him, and I did not care about the character at all in the TV show. I didn't think he was particularly interesting, but he is wonderful in all the books. But I want to give some recommendation on where to read Julian Bashir, and so I will give special attention to the Fall series. He, in books 3, 4, and 5, has some excellent character moments. He just goes through the ringer of life in these books, and he has such moral quandaries that he has to deal with. And so I love Julian Bashir in this series and in all of the post-Nemesis books. By far, the character who had the biggest journey from I didn't care for him on the show, he's my favorite post-Nemesis character. So that is my list of post-Nemesis characters that are my favorites, my top 5. Obviously, everyone else is going to have different lists because nobody else probably likes Korg as much as me, or maybe has the other characters in other ways. I think that more people will enjoy Ezri Dax a little bit more than me, but I still loved her. She's in my top 5. So if you have a list, let me know down in the comments below. If you just have a list of Star Trek characters that are your favorites, let me know that as well in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.